Hey everybody, welcome to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. Today we'll be talking about Beta Class Sunspot 2776, social media, bias, climate, fraud, and how about a little science? Starting out with heliophysics. Congratulations on being an astronomer and an astrophysicist. Here we are looking at the sun in 94 angstroms. We see a sunspot in the southeast, an active region setting in the southwest, another active region rising in the northeast, and lots of stuff to cover. So let's get to it with some custom HelioViewer movies. Check it out yourself. Don't take our word for it at helioviewer.org. Here's the southern hemisphere. Coronal hole in between those active regions. And we should expect a little increase in solar wind speed and density in about 2 or 3 days. And you can see some B-class flares emanating from Sunspot 2776 toward the left of your screen. Let's do a close-up. And we've put the Earth scale in there. Good stuff. Fantastic view of a close-up of Sunspot 2776. It is beta class as there is an umbra to the southeast of that South Pole oriented sunspot, and that umbra to the southeast of that South Pole oriented sunspot is indeed North Pole oriented, making it a beta class sunspot, increasing a little bit the interaction between those regions to produce things like solar flares and coronal mass ejections. Here is 171 angstroms in the southern hemisphere, and then we'll show you the same view, the close-up of 2776. Coronal hole to the north and to the west of that sunspot, and we're looking at the possibility that there could be some relationship between coronal holes and sunspots. I've got ideas about the physical mechanism there. I won't discuss them in today's Daily Space Weather video, as I don't want to be plagiarized and have my ideas stolen from me by hacks who know nothing about physics. So there's that close-up, and it's a fantastic view there. You're mainly just seeing the South Pole umbra. The other region there to the southeast of that is largely covered up, but it's about right here. And that is North Pole based, not really increasing a whole lot the likelihood of any Earth-facing coronal mass ejections, in my opinion. The radio flux, the 10.7 centimeter radio flux that is at 73 right now. And there's a graph of the radio flux with sunspot number progression. The radio flux is probably the second most important feature for solar activity besides sunspot number, and you can see how closely it correlates there. KP index is currently at 0 for the past 6 hours. Those are 3-hour increments there, folks. It's a measure of global geomagnetism. We've seen a couple B-class X-ray flares here over the past 24. Actually, 3 of them. Actually, I guess that's more than 24 ago. But in any case, no major proton strikes. Looking at the real-time solar wind to see a suddenly shifty phi angle in the past 6 hours or so. Current solar wind density around 4.5 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind density, which I just stated. Solar wind speed quite low here again, down to 317 kilometers a second. Solar minimum condition type solar winds here. Here's the magnetohydrodynamics of the environment. This is the Geospace Magnetosphere movie, 4 hours of data. Everything fairly calm there. And on the next segment, we'll feature ground magnetic perturbations, as we're always interested in that, since we're living through a polar excursion. Yes, we've got 2 north geomagnetic poles. The south geomagnetic pole has left the Antarctic continent entirely, and it's somewhere down here, south of Australia. Anyway, here's 4 hours of data. Let's advance that to where it was when it refreshed. And we are streaming live. If you'd like to view the videos live on most days, it's twitch.tv/smAsho. Today we're not streaming live, but we do most days. Here's the GOES magnetometer data over the past 3 days. Nothing too exciting there. We are solidly in the North Pole current sheet, as shown here by the top view ecliptic plane field plot. Here's a line of sight field plot, and you can see the B field being pulled down quite a bit here towards sunspot 2776. And it is a significant sunspot. It's got penumbra. It's about the size of planet Earth. It's not what you would call a big sunspot, but it's sort of a medium-sized sunspot. So cheers. Welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Welcome to Solar Cycle 25. Here is the coronal field plot. And this will show you closed potential field force lines in pink, coronal hole potential field force lines in purple, and open potential field force lines in black. And let's move on to another edition of the Smash Lights. During the Smash Lights, we talk about whatever we want, even if it causes the place to start on fire. All right. So, Smash Lights, yes, yes. It's been publicly acclaimed and requested. Let's talk about COVID before we do anything. COVID? Hey, I told you to watch yourself, COVID. Otherwise, I may have to get violent. Oh my God, it just went away on its own. Who would have ever guessed it? I guess President Trump did. In any case, make sure that you check out americasfrontlinedoctors.com, americasfrontlinedoctors.com. Thanks to Dr. Simone Gold. Here's a clip from their most recent video.
Thank you for being here. Patient trial and also the recovery trial. They use 2,400 milligrams in the first day. All you need is 200 twice a week.
Talking about how some of the early trials about hydroxychloroquine overdosed patients and caused adverse reactions because they were giving 10 times the normal dose way too many times a week. America's frontline doctors. They're not going to lie to you about COVID-19. They're not going to do things like foment fear and alarmism and nonsense and a lack of science understanding about COVID. They'll tell you the truth. Let's talk about overreach. Now, I started citing the fact that Bernie Sanders is a massive overreacher, as he threatened to not wait for Congress to act and take executive action to accomplish what Congress has failed to do and build upon President Obama's executive orders. What's that about? It's about immigration, as Bernie would like to import voters to vote Democrat, as they don't have enough voters in the country. Bernie wishing for a reach around from people from Mexico and Central America. Who needs a reach around when you can have covidiocy, like Kamala, and blatant corruption, like Kamala, on one ticket, Biden-Harris 2020, for that covidiocy and corruption ticket. Have you received a reach around from Joe Biden? Please leave us a comment and let us know how much money China and the Ukraine Burisma organization paid you. Now, I've experienced Pennsylvania's top covidiots as former NCAA linebacker there, Dr. Rachel Levine, and Pennsylvania's top covidiot, Governor Tom Wolf, have instituted ridiculous ideas in order to mitigate COVID and keep us safe. Apparently, destroying the economy is going to keep us safe. Now, Joe Biden is a massive overreacher, and let's just play a little clip here from his idiotic conversation with Democrat Party hack Stephanopoulos, who was like the press secretary, or he was like the propaganda minister of the Clinton administration. What a joke. Shouldn't be a journalist, should be a politician since he is one. Let's play a clip.
I'm a Democrat. Thank you, George. Mr. Vice President, every day my wife...
Here's a softball question about what he would do to reduce COVID. And basically what he says is he would wish for a national mask mandate, and I don't know why I can't fast forward this. It's because the software at ABC News sucks, just like their reporting. Here at the Smash News Network, we won't tell you lies, as we are interested in things like our own credibility, the reality of science, and so on. Let's not even continue with that. However, here's a quote from former Vice President Joe Biden. Listen to the science, support masks, support a national mask mandate, require masks, and don't forget to lock down, and don't forget to destroy the economy over a virus that's all too treatable. If you don't follow us on Twitter, you may not see a whole lot of information. So please do. We've pinned a post about the latest clothing design. I've survived a global pandemic, and congratulations on to you for doing the same. Surviving a global pandemic. Please leave us a comment if you were scared and spooked over that little thing. I mean, I don't even consider that thing to be like competent enough to be an enemy. It's not even worth it. Don't forget to enter the promo code MANSA to save 10% through October 31st. Again, follow us on Twitter. Otherwise, you may not see all the content. We're also on Facebook, and we just posted there, actually, about this HuffPo article. And actually, let's go back to Twitter for a minute. Since we have completely, utterly sociopathic eunuchs trying to, control the narrative. Have you seen some terrible writing on the internet? Yeah, well, I have too. And we've been exposing a bunch of it at twitter.com/smashamash. Pathetic eunuchs. And of course, we have been calling out folks. Follow Kirstie Alley on Twitter. Again, facebook.com/smashamash. Don't forget to check our links at smashamash.org, which will redirect you to smashamash.com. You can find all our social links there, as well as the SmAsho VoIP line. Drop us a line if you've got a news story or something interesting for us to talk about. You can link there to the Smash Forum, 2 different Teespring stores, and the Amazon affiliate. Here are the latest offerings from Teespring. We've got Mansa shirts, we've got HIPAA shirts, we've got All Things Matter shirts. We've even got some SmAsho leggings. Yeah, oh yes, we've put the Smasher Price My First Pandemic logo down by the calves, and there's a reason for it. It has to do with team colors. Today's featured product is gold, baby, gold. It's the Smasher Price My First Pandemic. I've survived a global pandemic so far. It's got our link to our website there, smashamash.org. Again, check out all the links below the videos. There's a better image of the shirt, and we've got new designs there also. If you haven't noticed, the featured designs are actually, for example, the lime green, and we put these in limited colors because it's a new take on the old design. Thanks for everybody who's purchased products. We greatly appreciate that support. Follow us on Instagram also. We'll do all kinds of nice things like put up graphics about the reality of carbon dioxide versus temperature. And let's do a cosmology segment. Congratulations to Andrea Ghez, who's won the Nobel Prize for Astrophysics, and physics in general, for the discovery of the massive radio source known as Sagittarius, a star at the core of the Milky Way galaxy. One of the good things that's happened as a result of this is that all kinds of new techniques have been found to image the core of our galaxy, including all the massive stars like S1 and S2 that are orbiting it at crazy eccentric orbits and crazy relativistic speeds. Yes, there are stars there in the core of the galaxy. that are moving around at about the speed of the solar wind. So congratulations on that. Let's talk about Quasar Jets, as it's a common subject that we talk about regularly here on the Smash News Network. Turns out that they're not understood. There's some sort of a relationship between the X-ray corona of a supermassive black hole. There's a relationship between the X-ray corona and of the jets. And yeah, they've attributed cosmological scale jets coming out of the cores of galaxies, out of the massive radio sources at the cores of galaxies. They've attributed it to magnetic fields. In any case, we don't see Birkeland currents connecting galaxies, so good luck with that. But in any case, another interesting article here. It's clickbait because it's not really explained, it's conjectured. But any progress here is progress sort of in the fractal nature of the universe, in that certain things are fractal. In other words, the poloidal Z-field jets coming out of these massive radio sources at the core of galaxies is important in terms of the way galaxies interact with each other. And without getting deep into the weeds, read the article at scitechdaily.com. Apparently, the early human species likely to be driven to extinction by climate change. Why would that be? Would it be because the Earth is so hot that it's cold? Yeah, that's exactly why. It's because of a cold planet. If you have a warmer planet, it's easier to farm and grow crops. End of story. Let's move on to today's featured object, which is 3C405.0. Yes. It's the massive radio galaxy located about 500 million light years away, Cygnus A. Here are the transients from it. Those are the X-ray output transient bursts from Cygnus A, the most massive radio source in the sky, second only to the Sun. And we view that at the Neil Gorell Swift Observatory. There's also information about it at smashamash.com/forum. Don't forget to read those forums, as they're always interesting. And thanks everybody who's signed up over there. Don't forget to enter our October contest if you haven't done so. If you'd like a free shirt featuring Deneb, otherwise known as Cygnus X3, join the contest. All you got to do is say, sign me up. We'll enter you into a sweepstakes, and we'll randomly decide who wins the free shirt via a quantum random number generator. We've also got a shirt here featuring Cygnus A, massive radio galaxy, along with its radio Flux jets, and you can see those jets there. We kind of superimpose the radio image. It's not really to scale, but that's the image that we use. Let's talk about cosmic rays. There's been a lot of nonsense when it comes to the grand solar minimum community and to NASA and the way that the data correlates with each other. And what we're looking at here is a graph featuring lined up graphs of cosmic ray flux and sunspot number progression. And what do you see there? What you see there is that cosmic rays were higher, consistently higher, around 2009 and 2010. Here's another chart where we've conveniently put... It became time to vanish. We've conveniently placed the Oulu neutron monitor. By the way, this one is Mexico. That's Mexico City. And sunspot number. Here is Oulu, Finland. This one goes all the way back to 1965. And we've lined up these graphs as well. And you can see once again the last solar minimum, the one between... That's the wrong one. The one between 23 and 24 features higher cosmic ray flux level than the current levels. Now, I know there are a lot of channels out there that don't care about lying to you because they're all worried about how much revenue they're going to earn this month and so on through Google AdSense. Here's another variable that debunks their nonsense. Dear Ben Davidson, I don't care. what you have to say, or that you've been banned from Twitter because you're a douche. Here is the thermosphere index for the solar minimum between cycle 23 and 24, and here it is on the solar minimum between cycle 24 and 25. Notice something here? Notice that the thermosphere was significantly and consistently colder at the last solar minimum. If you want to look at the thermosphere climate index, there's a link to it right at spaceweather.com, and you're welcome for not telling you lies and nonsense. We do stream most days to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/smAsho. If you enjoy the content on YouTube, please press like and subscribe. Share on your social media. We probably won't get banned from Twitter like people who are incredibly egocentric, ridiculous nonsense artists. We're also on BitChute, bitchute.com/smAsho. Did you watch yesterday's Scrying with Smash, episode 5, Big Tech/Twitter capitulates and 2021 accountability and fraud concentrate? Yeah. Anyway, that's the end of the cosmology segment as well as the Smash Lights here at the Smash News Network. Again, don't forget to visit the links below the video. Support the channel, as we're not going to be telling you lies. We value our credibility at smashomash.org. Let's look at electrons, as there are belts of them surrounding your planet. And it is super important to things like geophysics and cosmology. Here's a 1-year chart of the relativistic electrons. Here is the charging hazard situation. We don't see any. Here's the NOAA forecast, and we're expecting electrons to remain cratered here, not getting anywhere near warning levels, just like yesterday, if not even lower than yesterday. Here's the visualization of the air column, just the thermosphere down to the lithosphere where you live. By the way, all of your weather takes place in the troposphere, and we've got some anomalies here. So if you look at Africa here, you can see some nighttime electron flux belts. If you look at North America here, you can see some extremely far northward electron flux blobs there. So some anomalous GPS errors may be occurring. And again, that is the entire air column from the thermosphere all the way down to the ground, giving you an indication of GPS errors and where those electrons are located, as the signal has some trouble making it through. And we see a very anomalous ionosphere here, especially in the southern hemisphere. The southern Pacific has extremely beefy charge-ups going on at nighttime. And we've got a highly charged ionosphere right now. That's I'll just leave it at that. Here's the latest image, that one coming in at 12:15 Universal Time, and we're pretty late. Let's get this thing moving. I like to use in-the-sky.org. If you're up before dawn, check out Venus, and you may see Mars too. Where were you when Cygnus set? Where were you when Deneb set? Did you enjoy the new moon? I know I certainly did. There's where things will be in a week. Next we'll do earthquakes and then volcanoes. So here's the earthquakes of the past 24 hours. Let's just press refresh to make sure we've got all the freshest data for your viewing pleasure. First on the list that I'll be reporting on is the 4.6 at the Philippines. It's at 173 kilometers depth. There's a very deep quake at the Fiji Islands, over 500 kilometers deep at a 4.4 magnitude. Here's a deep quake at Argentina. Another deep quake just after midnight Universal Time there, closer to 1 a.m. Universal Time. So a bunch of deep quakes here. Here's one in the Kermadec Islands, north of New Zealand. Another deep quake near the Mariana Islands. A deep quake at Tajikistan. A deep quake at Indonesia. And as we did show prep, a deep quake coming in at Bolivia. It's a 4.3 magnitude at over 530 kilometers depth. Volcanoes have ramped up a little bit in the past 24. Let's go down the list. Abico's now erupting. Flight level 100, that's 10,000 feet. Kadivar back on the list. 5,000 foot ash plume there. Popocatépetl, volcanic ash not seen in webcam. Please don't build a campsite or attempt to pole vault the caldera in central Mexico. It could be a bad day at Popocatépetl for you. Fuego's exploding, flight level 145. 14,500 feet. Sangay, volcanic ash not detected. Ravanador, 14,000 foot ash plume as it explodes. And Sabancaya also exploding. Flight level 240 with a 24,000 foot plume of ash above that. Here's your weather.gov map, and we see some frost advisories here all the way from North Carolina up to Hampton Beach, as well as winter weather advisories in Montana. Here are the jet streams of the eastern world. Here are the jet streams of the western world. And we've got some extreme bends here, making for continued cold weather in Bermuda. Please leave us a comment if you're viewing from Bermuda. Here's where our pressure cells are now. Here's where we expect them to be at 12 o'clock tomorrow, according to the GFS forecast. And that's 12 noon, by the way, not midnight. Here's where lightning is striking. I like to use lightningmaps.org. Here's your real-time lightning map. Here's your continental U.S. lightning mapper, and we see quite a lot of lightning in the northern Caribbean there once again, especially in the area northeast of Cuba. Here's the weather underground U.S. Doppler radar map. Heavy snow striking northern Iowa, making its way into Wisconsin, across Canada, Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. And we see the heaviest snow over Iowa. Let's look at the cloud layer there. We would show you the visible, but it's actually a little bit too dark yet. You'd only have a few frames. So we use the NASA GOES interactive shortwave radiation satellite. So that's going to be a pretty consistent set of behavior there going on. We'll show you a better view of the water vapor map. And we'll also zoom in on Montana. Again, please leave us a nice or perhaps a mean comment, because here at the Smash News Network, we're not offended. So there's the water vapor situation. That should give you some idea of what's going on if the Doppler radar is not making it apparent. And the jet stream is kind of making its way due east now, so a lot of this moisture is just going to train, and it's going to tend to be a stagnant looking Doppler radar map for the day. Let's look at the point of inflection here as cold air gets injected into the U.S. from Alberta. And you can see it deflecting off a bunch of dry, massive air down here. Keep in mind, for you meteorology noobs, that dry air tends to be colder and more massive than moist air. Thanks to our patrons, a true source of funding for the content. Please consider becoming a patron, patreon.com/smashomash. You'll receive all kinds of benefits that nobody else receives. And if you want to know what's going on over there, I don't know what to tell you, besides you've got to open up your cobweb-encrusted wallet and pay us a couple of bucks a month. Otherwise, you won't see the content in its entirety here from the Smash News Network. Why is that? Well, it's because YouTube AdSense has forced our hand and caused us to dip our tippy toe into all kinds of other matters, such as the affiliate page. It's smashomash.com/affiliate. Also, don't forget to check out those Teespring stores. They're all visible at smashomash.org. We've got all kinds of stuff on the affiliate page. Thanks to everybody who's purchased items there. Everything from shoe goo to personal protective equipment to supplements to digital stuff. You can even get yourself a UV wand. A shower filter. Would you like to filter the chlorine and fluoride out of your shower? Well, consider our 18-stage HaPoPro high output filter. We've been using it, and guess what? It makes a noticeable difference. And keep in mind, folks, if you weren't aware, you may be interested in the fact that hot showers correlates higher with lung cancer than smoking cigarettes. Why is that? It's because of chlorine and fluoride in the tap water. Filter it out with the 18-stage HaPoPro shower filter. You can link to all of that at smashomash.com/affiliate. Thanks to the Smash team. It's time for me to vanish. Please share the content in your social media. Thanks for flying, American Smashways. Please keep your head and arms inside the Smash plane at all times. as we don't want to see you decapitated or dismembered here at the Smash News Network. We're going to show you bonus features. We're going to show you the colorized magnetogram, a 131 angstroms 48-hour SDO video, and the intensitygram. And we don't really see any significant uptick. Actually, there is a bit of an uptick. We may have Umbra, more North Pole-oriented Umbra trailing the main Sunspot, which is right there, 2776. Let's take a look at the intensitygram and see if indeed there is more Umbra forming, and indeed not. Actually, this Umbra has shrunk since we did show prep, and this Sunspot may degrade to an Alpha class Sunspot. Today, that would be my best guess. And you can see the moon moving across the SDO there. It's eclipse season. It's not a Borg sphere. It's not NASA trying to hide data. It's the moon. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun. Don't drink it. If you do, don't drive. Certainly don't drive. I might be on the bike and I don't want to see you out there. No offense. Also, welcome to the Neo-Renaissance. May that solar wind be at your back. And may that covidiocy, lies, propaganda, nonsense, douchebaggery, and BS absent from your locale. Douchebaggery. Complete faggery.